Hi, my name is Jerry Parker. I'm a storyteller. I guarantee you that whatever I tell you is 100% is 60% true. And I'm telling you about when I went back to school with my mother, who was gonna put me in the second grade. And when we got to school, my mother went right up to the teacher and said, Jerry belongs in the second grade. I give him his numbers and his ABCs. He belongs in the second grade. And the teacher says, no, this is his first day of school. He's got to go to first grade, and I'm going to register him. And while the two of them were arguing, the principal come out of his office, was right next to her, the first grade teacher. He was kind of a milquetoast. He was a principal that liked to have everything go nice and gentle. And he says, ladies, what's going on here? And the teacher says, this boy Jerry is going to be registered in the first grade, but his mother is insisting that he start in the second grade. He's never been to school before, and he belongs in the first grade. And my mother stepped up and says, but I taught Jerry his numbers and his ABCs and his spelling, and he belongs in the second grade. And the principal says, well, now, wait a minute here. He says, says to the first grade teacher, well, why don't you ask Jerry some questions and see if he knows his numbers and his ABCs and his spelling? So the teacher turned to me and she said, Jerry, I'm going to ask you a question. You answer me as soon as you can. And she says, what's 1 and 1? I said 2. What's 2 and 2? I said 4. She said, spell cat. C-A-T. She said, spell dog. D-O-G. She started to ask me another question, and the principal says, wait a minute. He says, this kid knows these numbers. He knows these spelling. He says, ask Jerry some thought questions to see if he's mature enough for second grade. So the teacher said to me, Jerry, I'm going to ask you some thought questions. You give me the answer as soon as you can. And she said, what does a cow have 4 of that I only have 2? I said, legs. She says, well, what do you have in your pants that I don't have in mine? I said, pockets. The teacher started to ask me another question, and the principal jumped in and he says, say, you put that kid in the second grade. I missed them last 2 questions myself. Thank you. I'm Jerry Parker, and I'm a storyteller.